Yo, yo, yo. What's good, folkers? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Snapzilla Gorilla. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. So, how you guys doing today? Thank you for the like. As soon as I started my live, I appreciate that. Yeah, so in the world of politics, too much madness, 1113. Too much madness. But Black Spring with Autumn, how you doing? Yeah, too much madness, a lot going on, and a lot of politicians, a lot of representatives not representing, a lot of politicians calling for a lot of scary things in this world, things they want to see happen. One might think that, what happened on Wednesday, January 6th at the Capitol changed a lot of people's minds. But what I see is the ideas people had already, and they were so quick to turn once this happened. I think they anticipated this whole thing at the Capitol. I think, I'm talking about the Republican senators that said that they were going to object to Biden becoming president. All right. Now, right now I'm playing the left-right paradigm lie game. So, really what this is about, I believe, what I think happened is, a lot of these Republican senators never planned on standing on their nuts and standing for the American people, right? They never actually wanted to represent you. They never really wanted to support Trump's, fight to stop the steal, right? They didn't. Okay, you had what? Two Republicans that came out, Ted Cruz and this Howley guy. You know what I'm saying? They would treat this like 9/11. Oh yeah, you better believe it. I was talking about this yesterday. I talked about it on a Tuesday when I did the Ruckin' Live. I talked about how the TAPS Act is waiting in the wings, all right? And I feel like they were waiting to get Biden in office to make what they wanted to happen, okay? So be on the lookout for the TAPS Act. Right now, the last thing that happened to it was in 2019. That was the last movement it had, was in 2019. But it's waiting in the committee where I believe the Homeland Security and all these different organizations are supposed to be looking at the TAPS Act, okay? But I see this going through this round, all right? During this presidency that we're having right now, the Biden presidency, I see the TAPS Act going through. I see it passing the House, going into the Senate. Might get a little bit of a fight in the Senate, but it's not going to be a real fight, okay? Because if you look at all the co-sponsors, not the co-sponsors, but all the people that support this bill in the House, I think the last I checked, it was 200 people or so supported the TAPS Act. Half of them Republican, half of them Democrat, okay? And what the TAPS Act does, it strips you of your rights, okay? One individual at a time. So basically what it is it's a pre-crime bill. So what they're trying to do is create a profile of individuals who might present themselves as a threat in the future, right? So this individual does not have to commit a crime right off the bat, right? They don't have to commit a crime. They just have to be believed to want to commit a crime in the future. So therefore, they can come snatch you up. They can take your firearms. They can put you through psychological evaluation, right? And who evaluates your psychological mind state? Another human being, right? Granted, it's a human being that went to school to learn how to study people's minds, but it's subjective, right? Psychiatry, psychoanalysis, and all this stuff is very objective. It's not an exact science, okay? I don't care how much they do. I don't care how much brain chemistry studying they do. It's very subjective. And guess what? If the government wants that examiner
20 miles
to determine
on the route,
that you have
slow traffic,
that you will present a threat, then guess what? That's what's going to happen. So it could be as simple as this. With the red flag laws, right? Someone has to report you, okay? Then they come get your shit, right? But with the TAPS Act, no one has to report you. They can see you on Facebook. They can see you making Facebook posts, YouTube posts. They can see you on Twitter. They can see you on Gab, all these different platforms. And you can say a certain thing. You can kick off an algorithm that'll alert certain authorities. These authorities can then look at you and say, you know, he talking wild shit about the government. I don't know, he might be presenting a threat. Even though they're not threatening to overturn the government, they're not threatening violence against the government, they may be disseminating information to people that's a little bit on the nose, that they feel don't want to be disseminated, that the government doesn't want to be disseminated. So then guess what? Well, we gotta go see what this guy's talking about. So then what? Well, they'll go to your house, they'll ask you questions, they'll tell you, oh, we saw you on this thing and that thing, we saw you on this platform and that platform, you was talking shit, you know what I'm saying, you were saying this, that, and the third, you know, you were spreading misinformation and this, that, like you, and now, when you couple it with this whole thing now that they're doing, where they're saying people are inciting violence without actually inciting violence, right? They'll take key words like stop the steal, fight for your country. Am I back? I know I was buffering.
405.
So they can take those words, right, that you're saying, don't even have to be a threat. Like 99.9% of people in the world would not perceive it as a threat. They just have to say that they perceive it as a threat. And then guess what? Because they're using Trump as an example, and because they're trying to make Trump the most hated person on earth, and they're saying that Trump caused these people to walk into that Capitol, even though they're grown-ass individuals, grown-ass men and women that can make their own decisions. See, since when did becoming an adult mean that you weren't able to make your own decisions? Since when did that happen? Since when does becoming an adult, when you become an adult, you're supposed to be thought to have some form of discernment, some common sense. Most people don't, all right? That's granted, most people don't. But that's not the fault of the individual saying a certain thing in a certain way, right? It's not up to me or you to make sure we don't say things that less discerning and more impressionable individuals won't take the wrong way. That's not our job. It's not up to us for that. That's not our responsibility. I don't care. If I'm president, I don't care if I'm the Tsar of Egypt. I don't care what I am. All right. Individual choice is just that. Individual choice. What I eat don't make you shit. You understand what I'm saying? No matter what they say, because they'll tell you until you're blue in the face. Oh, well, you're a president. There's certain ways you got to say things, and you got to have some type of decorum and politeness and blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. No, you don't. Where in the president rule book does it say that you have to watch what you say? You have to be very careful. You can't influence people by your words. That's what, as a matter of fact, isn't that what being a president is all about? You move people, you encourage people, right? You encourage them to do better. You encourage them to not be victims. You encourage them to stand up for themselves. You can encourage them to stand on their nuts. And if they see that there's an injustice being done, they encourage people to fight against injustice. Like that's what That's what a president is really supposed to do. You're a figurehead. You're a representative for your constituency. His constituency being the entire country, right? Everybody in the United States is his constituency. You know what I'm saying? He is the figurehead and the representative, so-called, of everyone, right? So if his words can so easily move someone to commit violence, whether it does or not. Now, this is important to note. His words may encourage somebody to think about committing some form of violence or illegal activity. But guess what? It's still not, you still care what nobody's saying, right? Certain idiots would call me an idiot if they heard this. He's a president. What are you, an idiot? He's a president. Like, that's their argument, that he's a president? No, he's a human being. He's a human being first. And then the individuals doing shit that they want to do are human beings. They're individuals. They're making individual decisions. Is mob rule real? Is it a real thing? Is mob mentality, everybody gets together and then they start feeding off each other, right? And all you need is one good motivator in the crowd to say, let's do it, right? And then everybody gets riled up and do it. Yes. Even with that being the case, even with my knowledge of this and my understanding of this, if a leader in the crowd says, come on, let's go, right? Let's go do this. Let's say that's all they said. Let's go do this. Let's do it. Well, what is the it that he wants you to do? It's very ambiguous, right? So if they all charge a building and some of them starts to cause damage to the building, well, is it his responsibility? Because he didn't tell them to damage that building. All he said was, let's do this. Let's go. You know what I mean? So how do you determine what incitement is? How do you determine that? Having a loud voice and being assertive? So if you have a loud voice and you're assertive, now you're supposed to feel bad because some people might do something and misinterpret what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we supposed to say? And when are we supposed to say it? How are we supposed to say it? Are we just supposed to be quiet, silent, mousy? We're not supposed to have any type of fervor about anything, any type of passion? See? No, we're not. They don't want us to have any passion. They don't want us to have any fervor. They don't want us to have anything. They don't want us to do anything. They want us to be robots. They want us, these people that I call Tacto, right? The Tacto people. And who's Tacto? Well, he's the main villain. Well, he wasn't really the main villain. He was a villain in Demolition Man, right? If you've seen Demolition Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Wesley Snipes.
Continue on I-110 North.
Oh yeah, they beat a cop to death, allegedly. I mean, yeah, so they beat a cop to death. So whose fault is that? Who told that individual to pick up a fire extinguisher and beat somebody upside the head with it?
I-110 North.
Who told him to do that? So who do we arrest? So are we going to go through Twitter and every influential person in Twitter that encouraged people to show up to Capitol and to say stop the steal and this, that, and the third, or let's encourage our politicians, our senators, our Republican senators to protest Joe Biden's win? Are we, what, everybody that said that? So should we just go round them up and charge them with the death of this cop? Where do you draw the line at? So anyway, Tacto, I think that's the pronunciation. Tacto is the white dude, the tall white dude who took advantage of how crippled Los Angeles was after the big earthquake, right? California. And, you know, by this time, all these diseases had come out. There was all kinds of diseases. There was this, that, and the third. And then eventually they came up with these rules and laws where you couldn't touch people. You couldn't have sex. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do that. You couldn't be excited about anything. You couldn't be passionate. Everybody was walking around like a fucking hamster, wearing weird clothes, right? Eating vegetarian Taco Bell. That's all. That was all they were allowed to eat. So they were very heavily restricted on what they could eat, who they could touch, everything, because of these diseases. Oh, salt is bad for you, so let's outlaw salt. Sugar's bad for you, let's outlaw sugar. Everything that's bad for you, that is perceived to be bad for you, is outlawed. Action movies, outlawed. Rap music, outlawed. Country music, outlawed. The only thing they could play was what? Show tunes from commercials. My dog's better than your dog's. My dog's better than yours. My dog's better because blank, blank, blankety, blank. Nick, that's where we're headed. Demolition Man was predictive programming to the nth degree. Firearms were outlawed. All the cops had little bit electric batons. Wesley Snipes ran all up and through everybody. Until what? Until they got Sylvester Stallone. They had to go back and unfreeze a relic to society who a woman called a Neanderthal because he wanted to think for himself, because he wanted to enjoy life. He wanted to taste the fruits of his labor. He wanted to be human. He wanted to be an individual. Not just a cog in the wheel, right? Going about your day, listening to show tunes. That's where they want us to be at, because we're more easily controlled this way. It's easier to control a subdued and subservient people. All right, that's the definition of being subservient. You're easily manipulated. You're easily impressionable.
10 north.
That's what's up. That's what's going on here. So when you look at society right now, all these things that are going on, this whole Tecate 19, the Modelo 19. Modelo 19 is a way to get to this point. Whether it's real or it's not. If it's real, they co-opted it. Oh, we have a novel Tecate virus. How dangerous is it? It doesn't matter. It's brand new, right? We don't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to handle it right now. But the more we handle it, the more we deal with it, the more we find out that it has a very high survival rate. Doesn't matter. We got new strains coming out. We got the UK strain. We got the South African strain. So it's more virulent. But is it more dangerous? No. But it's more virulent. It spreads faster. Okay. But it doesn't matter because it's new. Right? Oh. But let's do this. Let's assign Modelo 19 to every death. Every single death of an individual that happened to have Modelo 19. Oh, but also let's do this. Now I'm talking about in a video game, y'all. In a video game called Modelo 19, the bullshit. Okay, it's a video game. So not only that, but let's have hospitals pay patients a few $100 to allow them to put Modelo 19 on the chart. That way we can make our $13,000 to $42,000. You understand what I'm saying? In a video game that happened, one of my wife's uncle and his wife went to Poland, and she's Polish, and her family members were telling her that they would go to the hospital and they were trying to pay them a couple $100 to have Tecate 19. So, you know, this is in a video game. This is what she said. You know. Anyway, this brings me. I went off on a tangent there. I know I did. But this is how important freedom of speech is to me. Freedom of speech is almost as important to me as the right to keep and bear arms. Not even freedom of, not just freedom of speech. All that shit in the First Amendment. The freedom to assemble. The freedom to peaceably assemble. The freedom to practice your religion. The freedom to do this, to do that, to form groups. The freedom to form groups. That is in the First Amendment. We have the right to form groups of like minds. And our representatives, our so-called representatives, are getting further and further away from that. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're not even trying to pretend like they want to fight for our rights anymore. Look at what Cuomo's doing. So when we get to someone like Lauren Boebert, right? Lauren Boebert. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lauren Boebert. Lauren Boebert is a newly elected congressperson. I forgot if she's a senator or a congress or I forgot which chamber she's in, but she's a strong proponent of your rights to keep and bear arms, right? Now, this is how she became famous. She went to a Beto O'Rourke rally in Colorado, right? And Beta Male O'Rourke was talking about, restricting firearms and this, that, and the third. And she gave him a piece of her mind like nobody's business, but she was surrounded by sheeple. And this one guy had the nerve to say, because she was carrying at that time, she said, "You want to take away my ability to defend myself." I'm paraphrasing. "You want to take away my ability to protect myself. I weigh 100 pounds. I'm 5 foot nothing. I weigh 100 pounds. So you would have me become a victim to someone twice my size
In 2 miles, the exit
that could have their
on
own
the
weapon, because guess what? They don't give a fuck about a law. They're gonna get whatever. They're gonna get a knife. They're gonna have whatever they want. They're gonna go out in the black market and purchase what they want, because guess what? As long as there is a demand for something, the black market will provide. That's free market. That's true capitalism. If you can't find it in the legal market, you're going to find it in the black market. And that's what criminals do. Do we understand that? So she basically says, "Look, motherfucker," I'm paraphrasing, "you would come into office and strip me of my rights to defend myself, to level the playing field if someone attacks me." And some guy in the crowd is like, "You shouldn't have it," or because she said that she was carrying. She said, "I got my Glock right now," right? And this idiot said, "Oh, you shouldn't have that. You shouldn't have it." But she was like, you know what? She could have said, "I dare you to try to take it." But what she did say was, "I have it because now I can protect you and myself against someone who might attack us." She took the high road. She said, "You know what? Say what you want, but I can use this weapon to defend your life." He ain't had nothing to say about that. Neither will the representatives that want you to give up your rights to keep and bear arms, because guess what? They have armed security. They got armed security. They good to go. They good to go. Right?
left turn at the end.
They
of the
got it
road.
locked in. They have security 24/7. And the higher you are up on the governmental echelon, the more security you got. Your security is to the point where if someone threatens you from 3,000, 2,000, 5,000 miles away, they'll come knock on your door. I don't have that, right? Like the idiot Lucas threatened me and my family. I don't have someone that I can call and say, "The idiot Lucas threatened me and my family.
Proceed about 2 miles.
So
to
y'all need to go look at his
South
IP address and go find him." I don't have that luxury. So I guess what? I have to wait until the idiot shows up for me to handle my bid knot. And I'm okay with that. I have to wait until this idiot, this numbskull, who's really not as smart as he thinks he is, shows up. Yep, I'm gonna stay on this top. Like I said, stay on it. Any chance I can shit on him, I'm gonna do it. Anyway, moving on from that. So this woman decides to become a congressperson. So she becomes a congressperson, and basically she has this little commercial where she's talking about how she's going to
Left
be
turn.
all up in the Senate chambers, all up in Congress with her firearm, with her Glock. So I'm bringing my Glock with me. You feel me? I'm taking the Glock. I'm taking the glizzy, right? So then, no, oh, they don't like that shit. They don't like that. So what do they try to do? they try to create new rules. All right, then now there's already rules in the Congress, rules of Congress, or whatever the fuck they call it, where a congressperson in any chamber can carry a firearm on the grounds, right? So when she said that, some punk ass Congress people, men, some cowardly ass men who wouldn't be able to protect themselves from a flea bite, goes to try to get the rules changed. I don't know how far they got with that, but of course, what happened shortly after that? The Capitol building is stormed, right? So-called stormed. It's not really stormed. Stormed. When you storm something, you're actually going to, with an objective, to take something over. You're not going to walk in, wave around a flag, screaming a Viking hat, shit on the walls, and walk out. That's not a storm. That's not how you storm something. Yes, people died. So they say. They say people died, including Ashley, what's her name? Right? So, and these 2 cops. They said 2 cops died, and a couple of people had heart attacks. I don't know how true that is, but I will go with that. Let's go with that. The objective was not. I don't think the objective was to kill anybody. I think the objective was to go up in there and show these people what, and then get the hell out. But in reality, I believe it was staged. It looked staged to me. When usually the security for that building don't typically step aside and wave you in. That's just me. Yes, there was some windows broken, scaffolding climbed, all that shit. Sure. Let's say that. Yeah, whatever. But at the end of the day, they let the Mickey Figgies in. So, moving on from that. So after that, they get metal detectors or whatever. I don't know if they had the metal detectors already, but they get metal detectors. They have these metal detectors. Lauren Boebert, or Boebert, my bad. I'm saying the name wrong. I'm thinking of Lorena Boebert for some reason, because her name is Lauren Boebert. And, Lorena Boebert, naturally, you can see how I can make that mistake. But no, her name is not Lorena Boebert or Lauren Boebert. Her name is Lauren Boebert. So Lauren Boebert shows up to work, sets off. What I love is how she decided. Now, I don't know if she was carrying. Okay, I don't think they confirmed that. But if she was and decided to go through the detector anyway, man, that's a G right there. Not only did she do that, when they asked her, "Oh, you got to stop right there and do this, that, and the third," she said, "Nah, pimpin', get out of my way. I'm going to work. You ain't checking nothing." That was G. That was the most thuggish thing I've ever seen any politician do. All right, now get it. She is a new congressperson. I don't know if she's been clued in yet on how shit works. I don't know if they told her, look, you think you're an individual up in here, but if you want to stay up in here, you best toe the line. I don't know if they had to talk with her yet. Maybe she said fuck off. I don't know. There's always a hope, right? You always hope that someone is going to go against the left-right paradigm line from within the government. But again, she's new, right? She's new to government. She's new to Congress, right? So we'll see how this plays out. But she said, I'm showing up. Now, people thought that she was afraid because of the storming of the building. No, it's not because she was afraid that they stormed the building, so decided to bring a firearm. No. She had already promised her constituents that she was going to do that. She had already told them that she was showing up to work with her Glock. So it's not like the storming of the Capitol was what drove her to do that. No, she already had that on her brain. She already had that on her mind. What she did was stand on the nuts that the idiot Lucas should have, and she went. She did what she said she gonna do. Simple as that.
Proceed about
And these are the
7/10
type of
of a
people
mile
we
to
need
West
to get
Vernon
behind,
Avenue.
right?
Slow
Until she
traffic.
proves that she was full of shit, she needs some encouragement, all right? Now, like I said, I don't believe in left-right paradigm lie. And the only reason I'm even thinking that she might really have some balls is
In
because
half
she's
of
a
mile,
brand new
left turn
spanking new
onto
congressperson.
West Vernon Avenue.
But, you know, of course, we always have to be on the lookout. We have to look out for any actors, right? There's a lot of actors in government. So we have to look out for that. We got to be discerning. We can't get too excited when we feel like people are actually standing up. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. We'll see how vocal she is when they try to bring all these gun control laws to the floor. We'll see how vocal she is. We'll see if she can encourage some people to do the right thing. But see, this is the fucked up thing now. Because of what they're doing to Trump.
Proceed about 9/10 of a mile to your
Because of what they're doing to Trump with the censorship and with trying to charge him with inciting an insurrection, right? In a roundabout way. I forgot what that word is, right? But because they're trying to do that to him and try to make that a thing now, to where if you say things that are encouraging, if you say things that they don't like, and people do some things, who knows? He might be like, okay, look, guys, they're trying to push this gun control bill through the House. I want you to contact your representatives and tell them, oh no, hell no, you ain't doing this to us. She might say something as simple as that. And then guess what? If a group of people decide to go to their capital in their state to confront their congressperson, because guess what? We're supposed to have access to them. Well, they don't want us to have access to them no more. This is the whole point. And this is why I don't understand why people, not just the idiot Lucas, but people like him, I don't understand how he can't see that. They want to bar access from the representatives we pay. They want to bar access from the buildings that we pay for the upkeep of. So she might say some shit that has somebody confronting their congressperson. Their congressperson or their senator can say,
your destination is
I feel threatened. Oh, this person is a Lauren Boebert follower. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got to go get Lauren Boebert now. We got to bring her up on charges. Because guess what? Because when she pulled with the security, trying to get into work with her firearm, they're trying to get her charged with a crime.
The route guidance is now finished.
They're calling for her to resign. They're calling for her to resign and be charged. Move it. Is there something there? You got to move everything, man, not just your bodies. These kids. So, I mean, they're calling for her to be arrested. They're calling for her to resign. All this other shit. Lauren Boebert, do not give in to these people. All right? Do not fold to these people. Continue to stand on your nuts. Your phantom nuts, because you're a woman. Continue to stand on your phantom nuts and say, I don't care what y'all call for. It is what it is. I have a right to keep and bear arms, and so do my constituents. So do all y'all's constituents. I'm going to continue to show up to work with my Glock. Because guess what? I can't take the chance that the next time somebody storms the building, the Capitol Police won't just step aside and let them and wave them through. So that's the message as a Lauren Boebert that I would send to my people. Like, look, it's go time, people. They're coming after your rights to keep and bear arms. They're coming after all your rights. It's time to stand up for your rights. But see, that could be considered inciting violence. See where this is going? You see the slippery slope? Or you could say, man, don't let, what can you say now? What can you say to the people you represent? What can you say now? Especially after they make an example out of Trump. What are we going to be able to say? So now that I'm stopped and parked, let me see what y'all talking about. Okay. I'm going to start here. I can't go all the way to the top. Alan Powell 2.0 says, we've been hearing that Antifa was going to dress up as Trump supporters and cause trouble. At the fact that the cops ushered people in, it's a good lead for a psyop. Yeah, real shit. Kevin Dugan says, the rules are we must love Israel and we must love the government or we die. It's in Constitution to love the government or die, right? Right. Yeah, they wish it was. MAGA went up there and did that. FFS. Well, they went in. That's their building. I mean, we pay for that shit. We should have access to it. Everything that we pay for, we should have access to. But they take our money and tell us to go sit down. You little bitches. They're being arrested. Let me know when they get in Antifa. Good, yeah. Well, from what I understand, when Antifa get arrested, they get released with no charges. So, you can see the double standard bullshit, and that's what they want you to see. They want you to see the double standard. They want you to know only one side is going to really pay for what they're doing. People are too used to the presidents being fake and lying to them. Well, yeah, they're all liars and fakers. They all full of shit. Now, the Golf Crow says, I'm a Trumper for posting that all I have to reply is so. Yeah, and that's the only argument. They don't have any real argument. See, when people do that, they don't have an argument. When they personally attack you, or when they call you a Trumper, or this, that, and the third, they don't have a real argument. They don't have anything of substance to say. They can't articulate a point. That's why they attack you. What else? Let's see. Felony murder rule. Yeah. Brother been in prison 27 years for being at a murder scene in California. Yeah, you can definitely go to jail for that. Aiding and abetting. Kevin Dugan says that's Fabian socialism combining more values and religion with law. Yes, and that's the dangerous mix right there. Semi Drive says it's like they create the new excuse to do what they want. They do it all the time. That's Hegelian dialectic. Jay with open eyes says it sounds like a cool video game. Where can I buy it? In a land of reality that they don't want you to know about. Kevin Dugan says they were bribing people to have Tecate 1984. From what that's what I heard from my wife's Polish auntie. Kevin Dugan says corporation is the key. Yeah. Black Spring with Autumn says, please, thank you. Yeah, please hit that like button. Thank you so much. Anarchy Television in the house with the googly eyes. Kevin Dugan says people are going to start making their own personal attack guns with 27 personal heart attack guns. That's funny. With 2700 style batteries. Black Spring with Autumn. Oh, okay. They cannot legislate the heart of a man. Exactly. Okay, so let's say this. The people that Trump so-called incited. You understand what I'm saying? So the people that wanted to storm the building, they did. And the people that didn't, and it's irrelevant what Trump said, right? Didn't matter what Trump said. It was already in their minds. It was already in their hearts. That's in my mind anyway. And even if it wasn't, even if Trump somehow planted the seed, it's still not his responsibility for other people's grown-ass decisions. I don't care what his status is. A taser is just a capacitor. Yeah, that's really all it is. It releases a charge, right? A capacitor holds a charge until it's released. I mean, that's it's not even a battery. It's a capacitor. Thank you for posting my book, The Seeds of Dark Matter. Thank you, Black Spring with Autumn. Kevin Dugan says, modern times, you can kill somebody just as easy with some batteries as a bullet. Good question, Kevin Dugan. Are they going to outlaw batteries? They might. They want to outlaw everything. They don't want us to own shit. They don't want us to have shit. Energy Television says, back in the old days, what we used to call dropping a dime on someone. Yeah. Under the real laws, not fake laws, all property in Washington, D.C. is public. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, that just applies to the Senate and that doesn't apply to the office and to the White House and the Capitol. It damn well should. It damn well should. See, the reason they need so much security is because they pissed so many people off, right? The reason these government officials need so much security is because they exploit other countries. They destroy other countries. They destroy other countries' cultures. They destroy shit. They create hatred for them in people's hearts. People hate them. That's why they need the security. If they were righteous and benevolent, they wouldn't need as much security, right? Come on, man. Did Mother Teresa need that motherfucking much security? No, people. There's always going to be people that's going to have designs, right? You always want to have some form of security, but come on. Black Spring, who is Energy Television? People forget characters like Obama come from the most horrible upbringing, the most horrible families, just so terrifying that we can't even imagine how awful these people are. Same for Trump. Yeah, all of them, man. Black Spring Autumn says she's still trying to confirm. I'm lost here. Kevin Dugan says the Wizard of Oz lot lives without laws behind closed doors. All right, yeah, there's a lot. Powell 2.0 says fight for your right to party. Exactly. Inciting violence. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Show up to the Capitol on January. They knew there would be unrest when they chose to rig the election. Word. To me, all elections are rigged in my mind. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. Hey, what's going on? Old head Deuce is back. All right, guys, I got to get off this. I'm at home now, so I got to get up in there with my family. But I just had to bring that up, man. So, is Lauren Boebert, is she real? I don't know. She's new, so she might have some, form of morals going in there, but how long will it take to corrupt her? I don't know. Let's find out. Anyway, much love, you guys. I might get back on tomorrow. We'll see. Definitely going to get on Friday for a Rucking Live. I've been having to go to a couple of Dodgers appointments, so we'll see. Why do you think kings and knights guarding them in a big moat around the castle? It's because they knew the people could get to them. Yeah, because they all right, guys.